year of crazy weather. We have some of the craziest yet. You're looking live at pictures coming in from the deep south. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Lafayette, Louisiana. And as you can see, there are no customers right now for lunch at McDonald's.
No one willing to brave the crazy temperatures.
Holy cow. I was just
wow.
thinking, Celeste, that if it's a school day, a school snow day, the kids are going to want Happy Meals, but mom's like, I'm not getting out and driving in that.
Well, maybe that'll make them happy, especially if they get a snow day and a Happy Meal out of it. But how crazy is this weather?
Yeah, no kidding. By the way, you guys, there's Celeste.
Hello.
Hello, it's me,
Hello.
the Hooner.
Mm-hmm.
We are in our brand new studio. We're excited to show you around a little bit more, but let's get to this big story because meteorologist Crystal Ortiz joins us as well. Morning, Crystal.
Hey, very good morning. Glad to be with you guys.
All right. So you are not shocked, even though millions may be waking up in the South looking at this. You saw this coming.
Yeah, and for days they've been talking about the concern down south of this because they're not used to these kind of conditions. I actually have a friend who works down in the New Orleans area, and this might be one of the big years. So,
Wow.
but one of the big problems too, as you know, is in the South when this happens, not really the infrastructure. They don't have plows, salting crews, and everything. So it turns into even more of a mess.
Can you imagine, Celeste, how many mayors right now are like calling up the maintenance yard saying, hey, we got any snow plows?
We have a bunch of salt.
No, boss.
Maybe they have those big plows that can attach to the pickup truck, and then it's like somebody's side hustle.
I'm just waiting to see some guy on his Bobcat.
Pushing it around.
Or in his F-150 with a temporary snowplow. Celeste joins, and so, Crystal, I thought both of us could visit with you a little bit about this crazy weather. And let me just pull up your weather map here so you can kind of walk us through all of the white and blue from
snow.
Houston to South Carolina is snow.
Yeah, isn't that incredible? I mean, and you can see it's extending down and into the Gulf. So, I mean, that's just wild to see. In fact, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see a closer view. The snow in Houston has started to kind of fizzle out, but it is in full force over most of Louisiana. And then you can see into Mississippi as well as Alabama, up to Atlanta. This is a stretch of snow. It's just wild to see. And I actually have a live camera as well, guys. This is Gulfport, Mississippi, so that is actually on the coastline. You can't tell, but the ocean is in the background.
People will say, do you remember that day Gulfport just disappeared in the snow?
So amazing.
Imagine someone who headed out there and they're thinking, we're just going to go for a walk on the beach.
Yeah.
You're going to need snow gear to go for a walk on the beach.
Right.
A quick shout out to everybody in the chat box this morning. Thank you all for joining us. And I said, hey, what do you think of the new digs? I know we're kind of focusing on the weather right now, but we're in a new streaming studio.
Yeah, we are.
This morning.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Well, we'll show you all around in the coming days. But, Crystal, so is this going to literally blow through the Carolinas now as the day goes on?
Yeah, so it's going to, as you can kind of see, let me get back to the radar shot, kind of hooking up already, but it's going to continue to kind of trek from west to east. So it's moving towards, areas like Atlanta, the Carolinas, before it can push off the coastline. Even parts of the far north extent of Florida, they're looking out for freezing conditions. I mean, stuff they don't normally see there. Actually, it's kind of wild, guys, because last year, almost this time, my husband and I went on a little, baby moon vacation right before Sophia was expected.
To Lafayette, Louisiana?
Well, we went to the panhandle of Florida.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
Okay.
and we were at a beach, and if it had snowed when we were there, I would not have been too happy.
Yeah,
That's not what you expect when you go there.
Were you in Floribama?
Almost. We were in the 30A, if you're familiar with that area. But and you could see the snow start to creep that direction. So this is pretty wild to see. The temperatures, by the way, also are really cold. That's why they're getting snow. If I pop up the wind chills, let me take a look here. So the wind chills, obviously, it's no surprise when they're 20 below in like Chicago or Minneapolis. But look down in New Orleans, 14, 21 in Houston, 10 in Odessa. Yeah. So like a huge part of the country is just sucked into the cold.
You know, Sherry in our chat box, she said, "My daughter lives in Gulfport. She is on a cruise, so she's missing out on the snow at her house." I
She
thought,
got
what?
out in nick of time, right?
What good timing.
You know, Crystal, I was noticing when at about 5 this morning when you popped up this map, Minneapolis with the wind chill was 45 below zero.
Yeah.
That's like inhuman.
I can't fathom it being that cold. I've never been in that. Guys?
Yes.
You have been.
Missoula, Montana. One Christmas, we had to pick up my grandma at the Greyhound bus station.
Oh, man.
And the air temperature was 37 below.
Oh.
What did Grandma say about it, though?
She was just happy to be reunited
Yes,
with
she
family.
was.
But, yeah, it can be very intense, that's for sure.
Wild.
Crystal, before we wrap up with you, I just thought it would be good to talk just a little bit about what's going on at Sky Harbor. We've already had wind gusts almost 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, so yesterday they peaked at 47. It was in the overnight. I mean, it woke me up multiple times because it was so windy. Let me see if I can find our wind gusts. Let me pop this up.
By the way, while you're working on that, Celeste didn't get a lick of sleep last night because she's got wind chimes.
I heard the wind chimes.
There's only you heard them from my house probably. It was so loud. It's like you have these wind chimes, but we don't hear them that often in Phoenix because we don't, maybe the monsoon season is when we might hear them. But last night was crazy.
Only one question. Why didn't you nudge Gary at midnight and say, get out there and take those things down?
He was rewatching the inauguration in the family room, Ron, all night.
That's great. So, Crystal, what can we expect for the rest of the day locally?
Okay, yeah. So the good news is those really strong wind gusts that we had, we're done with those. In fact, I just looked at our wind gust map, and right now the only spot even reporting any wind gusts, Queen Creek, kind of extend into county like 55 miles per hour.
Okay.
But the rest of the day, winds are lightening up, but it's cold. We're in the low 60s throughout the valley this afternoon, which feels pretty good, but Jack. And then tonight we have that freeze warning. So like sensitive plants, bring the pets indoors, all that good stuff, because some parts of the valley will drop.
Wow, cover them up.
Yeah, cover them up.
Well, we are debuting our new studio. And Crystal, it's great to have that third seat and third microphone. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Crystal.
All right, Celeste, we've got some stories to get to, and a lot of it, I think, relates to these winds because fire crews, they have been making progress, but these Santa Ana winds are expected, unfortunately, to kick back up over in Southern California today. The Weather Service issued what they call a particularly dangerous situation warning, and it's going to be the third red flag warning already issued this month.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. I mean, the Eaton fire, I think we had the number, that's the one in Altadena, 87% contained. Pasadena's in the 60s, low 61% contained. I think the big concern now is that you have that fire outside of San Diego. There's a fire that you can see. Did we have that image from UCSD, University of California, San Diego?
I think we've got that. Let me just jump over there to see that.
That's pretty frightening when you think about it. We were chatting with TMZ earlier this morning, and he said that finally air quality is a little bit better than what we've seen in the last week or so, because people in Southern California have been having to wear masks once again. And we're talking about people not even in the fire danger zone or, the burned out areas. Like we're talking people like downtown LA, are having to wear masks.
I feel like that we have really dodged a bullet with the whole rest of Southern California, because you look at some of those maps and it could be danger literally all the way from Santa Barbara through LA down into Orange County and San Diego. So they're keeping an eye on this fire. I'm sure they got crews out there early this morning. Last check, it was at about 80 acres, but it's called the Lilac Fire, and it's near the little community of Bonsall in the far northern stretch. So that's the last thing we need right now. The one good thing is they've got crews stationed all over Southern California. So when it comes to the big heart of the folks here in the Valley, Celeste.
Yes, Ron.
We see it all the time, don't we? So we have a Valley food truck. The operators of this truck say we had to do something. So they're loading up and heading out, and listen to what they have to say. They are going to bring their Filipino food to thousands of victims and hardworking guys and gals on the front line. Here's what they said.
They don't have kitchen with them, they lost their home. Oh, I get it. So it's like, how are they gonna cook their food? So for us to just offer meals, that's a big thing for me.
It's so sweet.
It is. It's
isn't it?
amazing.
I
That
mean-
is like what I think the heart of America is. When you see communities, not even in that state,
Yep.
coming to the aid of people who have been affected.
Yeah, no kidding. So Golden Lumpia, way to go. That's for sure. They're going to serve meals on Thursday and Friday. If you want to help them out, you can go to fox10phoenix.com. We'll have to do a follow-up after they get back into town. Okay, Celeste, let me experiment here for a second. I don't even know what's going to happen when I punch this button.
That's the best. That's the best statement ever.
But
I
look.
don't know what's going to happen when I push this button.
I know, but here is the studio in real life. Where's that camera? Way up there.
Oh, right there.
But, everybody's been working so hard on this project, and we're so excited to bring it to you. Any other comments, Celeste? in the
Ron,
chat
folks are
box?
loving the new studio look. By the way, we wanted to bring in our, what was the little sign we had in the other?
Oh, the on-the-air sign?
On the air
Yeah,
sign. That's
right.
going to make its way over here.
Good.
But there's been like a whole team of people. Thank you. It's been so great because this thing is just a grassroots effort. It's like Ron and I chatting about stories of the day and people that are jumping into action and helping others and doing good in the community.
And the other thing I think, Celeste, that's kind of cool here, I've got so many buttons.
Oh, wow.
That we can, on the fly, kind of pull stuff up. Before we go to the break, if you haven't voted in our poll question, what is going on? We have over 300 votes. Do you like the idea Gulf of Mexico becomes Gulf of America? Denali goes back to Mount McKinley. 60% of you guys say, absolutely, I am on board. But about a third, 33%, say, don't like it, don't like that kind of change. And then Celeste, I thought, well, let's give you some more options. So yes, but only to Gulf of America, or yes, but only to Mount McKinley.
I
You
think
got four options.
people are they just like yes. Yes, I
They
like it.
are.
Are we going with the mystery cam today as well?
Celeste, I'm so glad you answered that question because look at this.
Oh, look at that.
That is the mystery. It's got its own button, Celeste.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so everybody at home, if you're watching, especially if you want to join us in the chat box, tell us where you think this is. Do I see any snow? No, just a sparkling lake. We got a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with your guesses. You're looking live at the Mystery Cam. So, Celeste, other than the sparkling lake, and I can't quite, is that like a cement plant there in the center of town?
Good question. I do see a little bit of snow on that ceiling, the roof, right at the bottom of your screen.
Eyes. Celeste, you must be 2020. You don't brag about it, but.
Never, Ron. Braggadocious, never.
Okay. Amongst our viewers, what are they saying, Celeste?
Viewers are saying Florida.
Okay.
KDJW5 says Florida.
Okay.
Linda, Nevada.
Nice.
We do have B. Miguel said Idaho.
Do you have a guess?
I'm going to go Wyoming on this one.
I like the hills, so I think it's too hilly for Florida. And a little bit of snow. I feel like it's raining in Florida, so I'm going to go a little further north. I'm going to say Virginia.
Ooh, Sherry says Tennessee.
Ooh, that's a good guess,
And we have
too.
Louis Gonzalez. Good morning. He's from Pima County. Linda's in
it
Thatcher.
could be the little town of Pima.
Oh, maybe it's Pima.
Out there in Graham County.
Okay.
Safford and Thatcher and Pima.
Wow,
the Tri-Cities.
We have a lot
I
the
love that area.
Tri-Cities.
They're such great folks.
Okay, what
out
was
there.
your final guess, Ron?
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, okay, hold on.
This is for our new viewers to the pod. Here's
Mountain
that.
Home, Arkansas.
Oh, nice.
There's also a Mountain Home, Idaho, though, for B. Miguel, who
Right.
guessed Idaho.
Yes.
That's an Air Force base
So,
south of Boise,
do we want to
Idaho.
go ahead and give it to B. Miguel? Brandon?
I think so, because no one guessed Arkansas.
All right, Celeste, we are going to, the border is going to be a big story today and for weeks to come.
Yes.
So we had this brilliant idea of sending Ty down to the border. We're going to bring him in live right now to talk just a little bit about what he discovered when he was down in San Luis. So they're driving back right now, and the picture may lock up on us occasionally, but I think we'll at least be able to hear him. So, pardon? Glenn? Okay, yeah. So we have the frozen shot, but maybe they're trying to clear those hills when you first leave Yuma.
I think so. And so
Yeah.
we'll get him in just a few moments. But, of course, it was one of the big announcements that President Trump made yesterday.
Yes, right.
With this declaration happening at the southern border.
Sure. In fact, the Wall Street Journal had a really interesting piece that said, by declaring it a national emergency, it could free up funds immediately for spending down on the border, for example, to finish the border wall and some other things. That's why specifically it was declared a national emergency.
So earlier this morning, Ty was live at the San Luis border port of entry, and that is about 12 minutes or so from the actual border wall.
So
12
we've got-
miles, I'm
yeah.
sorry, 12 miles from the border wall. But there are businesses there, and he did speak with, we have him now.
Yep.
Hey, Ty, good morning.
What would you say was your big takeaway, Ty, from your time down on the border today?
Well, I didn't really know what to expect. Obviously, we had all of those executive orders that were issued yesterday by President Trump, and they kind of run the gamut, as you mentioned. There's about over 10 of those executive orders that were issued by President Trump yesterday, including that emergency declaration at the border. So I didn't know if we were going to be showing up to the border and seeing troops out there, military or what, but it was kind of everything normal, as usual, as we'd normally see on a busy day at the San Luis. We got there early in the morning. There was a ton of people crossing from Mexico going into the United States, and we kind of talked to some of those locals that live in the Yuma area. They say those are all those folks that have American citizenship or some sort of work visa, that they come for the day, work out in the fields, and then they come back to home. There was also a ton of school kids that were kind of doing the exact same thing, leaving Mexico, coming across the border, heading to school for the day, and then later on this afternoon, then they will go, of course, back home to Mexico. And they were saying that a lot of these individuals do it for economic reasons. They might have American citizenship, but it's cheaper to live in Mexico. They have family in Mexico that don't have citizenship.
Oh, I think we may have lost your mic for a quick second.
And yet the picture is perfect. It's like crystal clear.
Yeah, you look great, Ty. You look great.
Yeah.
You know, something that you also interviewed a farmer down there on the border.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. The declaration is actually, and some of the details, to specifically go after the drug dealers, the cartels crossing over any type of criminal
Those
activity.
who've committed crimes.
Right.
Right.
Specifically. And the farmer that you spoke with said, he doesn't expect it to affect his business down there on the border.
Let's try one more time, see if we can hear Ty's mic. If you wanted to comment on that or the other thing that you learned from Border Patrol officials, just in terms of kind of right now they're trying to figure it all out, right? All right. Well, Ty.
Give us a thumbs up, buddy. You did great.
Yeah, this is the beauty, right? Okay, so we want to, well, one finger for yes, two fingers for no. This is the beauty of the pod, Celeste. Ty, we appreciate you, buddy. At least we got a half a report, and come on back home. We learned a lot in his reporting today, Celeste.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Okay, on to this next story now of exactly what's been going on in Washington. How about Carrie Underwood? Ready?
Oh,
I think this is right here. Okay, this is her being escorted up, kind of almost bumped into the president there. He just wrapped up his speech. I just thought she handled this, as you would expect, Celeste, as a real pro. And you know, they couldn't get the backing track going.
Yeah.
And she waited and waited. And then finally that you can hear her say to somebody off camera, you know what? I could just sing it. If you guys can't get that part of the backing track ready, I'll just do it.
This is pure a case that she was just so comfortable on a big stage.
Yes, she
saying,
was.
you know, if this is not working right. Yeah. And then she invited everyone else to join her.
Right.
And sing. And I think it was one of the military choirs who was in the room or in the Capitol Rotunda nearby. They started chiming in and they started singing with her. And it just gave you this feeling of unity and, hey, you know, the show must go on.
Totally agree. I mean, it felt awkward there for a couple of minutes, but the way that it worked out to have all 800 voices join her. Oh, here, I think we can listen. Here, ready? Here we go.
For purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain, America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
That is so cool.
Oh, it just gives you like chills.
It really does. Well, for me, it was goosebumps.
Oh,
you got chills.
I got chills, and it made me all warm and fuzzy. Hey, real quick, Ron, in the chat box, folks are chiming in about us having Ty live, and it was funny. RLS Vid said, Fox 10, in parentheses, doesn't talk. Because we couldn't get his mic.
Believe me, we have the most hilarious viewers you'll ever want to get to know. Join the chat box.
Very witty.
Yeah. All right. Well, so coming out of what was going on over the last few days, especially yesterday, and we're still standing by for today, was the all the executive orders ranging from energy production, drill baby drill, to saving TikTok for 75 days, withdrawing from the World Health Organization, and shutting down the CBP1 app. But Celeste, it really is of all these various... Oh, and by the way, pardoning the January 6th crowd of literally thousands of people who overtook the Capitol. But... this is generating, we're almost up to 400 votes. If you haven't joined us before, it's more common to get, by this point of the game, maybe 100.
Right. So this poll is on fire.
It's on fire.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
in
right.
a good way.
Yeah.
Fire.
So you can, if you're on YouTube, you can vote right there. And it looks like we have 22 comments, so we'll drop down and read some of those later. But the number is 59% say, I'm on board with this. I did go on to Google Maps today, and they haven't changed anything. But the Google CEO, Alphabet, was one of those who were in the crowd. So
Okay.
when he lands back in the Bay Area today, he might say, hey, get those maps changed.
Well, the Google company has said they're not in the fact-checking business, apparently, in a new story this morning. So maybe
yeah?
they're just not on it.
Yeah.
Maybe it really has changed.
It's got to be tough to run a business where you have some laws in the U.S., other laws in the EU.
I know.
You know, and then who knows what is coming out of
Peru.
Peru. Could we get some new laws out of Peru? Peru, if you want to give us your opinion on that. Celeste, we have a live shot here from, I believe, I'm just punching buttons. Did we ever get that shot of the buttons? I don't know if we did or
Do we have a
not.
Diet Coke button?
No, but the president does. And imagine being at the White House, even on a chilly day like this. The Diet Coke button, Celeste, went right back into effect
Hilarious.
in like no time.
That's so great.
So this is from the first presidency. If you had a button, Celeste, that you could press to get anything delivered
Oh.
from the White House butler or
Mhm.
just maybe one of your kids,
Oh,
you
wow.
put a button that alerts the kids.
They would never
time to be
come. Are
served.
you kidding me? You would need more than a button to get your kids to do much.
There needs to
Jeez.
be some kind of a commercial about him ordering up his Diet Coke.
And it
right?
comes in like, arriving on a tray or something. It's classic.
Oh, by the way, look, here we go. Ready? Here is the button.
Oh, wide
Look
shot
at-
button.
Yeah, that's the wide. We're on the wide shot, but I'm constantly harassed by Celeste
You are not.
to push the Celeste cam. So there you go. Now, this is my favorite right here.
Yeah.
Watch what happens when I push that.
What happens when you push the mystery cam button?
Oh, it's still up,
Wow.
right?
Yes, Arkansas.
But so I was thinking about this. I would like a button for spaghetti.
Ooh, your spaghetti? Because you have a pretty special recipe.
I did. I have a recipe. I made it last night. And my wife, Renee, was just kind of, packaging it all up for leftovers. And she's like, I hope there's some left when you get home tomorrow.
Oh, she didn't pack it. She wasn't going to let you bring any to work.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
All right.
brother.
Well, anyway, now you see behind the scenes to what's going on. Here's our two-shot, by the way, of the studio.
Oh, my goodness, Ron. Tyler Lewis says, I'll take a button that brings $100 bills. That's a good one.
So you don't have to go to the ATM. We're out of time today, but we sure appreciate you guys joining us. And Celeste,
Yes,
we got to
Ron.
say our goodbyes.
All right. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for chiming in the chat box. We love